Hey guys, Cronus Falls here, and I am bringing you guys a follow-up video today on my Batman Forever Ultra Nightmare comp. And today what I am going to be showing you is how to run this properly against the Nightmare Clan boss, not just Ultra Nightmare. Now, if you've seen my last video, you will notice that I have added Draco to my roster since then in place of Roz and Scarhide. He's a great champion. He's allowing me to very easily 2-key Ultra Nightmare on every affinity. And one day soon, I hope to be getting that to a 1-key. But I am also bringing in Doom Priest against every affinity now. I just want to make sure that it runs properly every single time. And finally, obviously, we've got our Santa, our Seeker, and our Warcaster. They're the ones that make this tune work as a 2-1 Unkillable. So let's go ahead and get into the speeds and builds real quick. I've shown off the other builds on my previous video, but I am going to show off Draco here real quick, just because I haven't shown him off in a video previously. So I do have him in Relentless gear, very important to be getting closer to those 1-key type damages. You can definitely 2-key without Relentless gear here though, so just keep that in mind if that's not realistic for you. But on the build here, we've got this weapon here bringing us 29% crit rate, 9% attack, 6% crit damage, and 8 speed. Perfect weapon for Draco. And then we've got this helmet, 16 speed, 5% crit rate. Shields bringing us 20 speed, 19 AC, and then our gauntlets, 50% crit rate. Would prefer these to be crit damage, but getting him to this speed in Relentless is very difficult, so I had to go with crit rate to get the crit rate that I needed. This is also bringing us 10 speed and 10% crit damage though. Then we've got him in an attack percent chest plate. Remember, this is unkillable, so he doesn't really need to have any sort of toughness. This is bringing us 20 speed, 19 AC, and 6% crit damage. And then the boots are just bringing us the speed, nothing else. Our ring is an attack ring with 16% attack on it. We've got crit damage amulet that I would love to have just a little bit of accuracy on to get us over 230, but he's doing just fine with the 224 he has now. And finally, an AC banner with 19 speed on it to get us to where we need to be. So this is a pretty good build for Draco, but it definitely could be better. And I will get it better over time as I try and move towards a 1-key Ultra Nightmare build. But right now we are looking at Nightmare, so let's look at the speeds that we need here. We've got Draco running at 248, Sir Nick at 247. We have our Warcaster here coming in at 265. He's the fastest in the build. Our Doom Priest is coming in at 220. This is going to allow her to go first every time once we get into the proper rotation. And that's going to help us to clean off decreased speed when we get into the green affinity, as well as the stun on every affinity, so we're never missing out on any damage. And finally, our Seeker is coming in here at 248 speed. And he is the one that is allowing us to make it a 2-to-1 comp. So we've got the speeds down. This is going to be the same for both Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare. Let's go ahead and switch over to deadwoodjedi.com real quick where I can show you this comp. So as you can see, we've got all the speeds listed here. But now let's go over the delays. So the normal delay for Ultra Nightmare, we're going to be seeing Warcaster taking a 1-turn delay on his A3. So you're not going to use the A3 on the first turn. You're going to wait and use it on the second turn. And that is his Unkillable. Doom Priest, I like to delay by 1 turn the A2 just because Seeker's already putting up increased attack on us, so she can just get a hit right off the bat. Draco Morph, I typically delay his poisons to get the decreased defense and weaken off first. That's personal preference. You can do it either way, just depends. When he's in Relentless, he's not running at a certain tune anyways as far as when his abilities are going to go off. So one could argue it doesn't really matter, but that's how I like to do it. Santa, on Ultra Nightmare, you're typically going to be seeing a 2-turn delay on his A3. That will be changing for Nightmare. And finally, Seeker, you normally see no delay on his A2 where he does his speed boost. So that is for Ultra Nightmare, that's how it would go. But we are looking at Nightmare here, so things need to change. As you can see, it's not going to run properly here. Warcaster is actually going to be going first in our rotation when he needs to be last. But we can go ahead and make some easy changes that's going to fix that for us. And the first thing, biggest thing, is we need to delay Seeker by 1 turn on his A2. And boom, now we can see a Warcaster is in the perfect spot every single time. He's going to be at the bottom, but he's using his A2 when Santa's using his A1. We can't have that, so what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to bump Santa's delay from a 2-turn to a 3-turn delay. And that's going to get him to properly use his A3 when we need him to. And finally, we need Warcaster to bump from a 1-turn delay to a 2-turn delay on his A3. So once we get into the swing of things here, we will see that Warcaster uses his A3 here, Santa uses his A3 here, Warcaster, Santa, and boom, everything is perfectly in line. And that is going to play out for the rest of the fight. Super easy to set up, doesn't take much more time than it would for Ultra Nightmare. And that is going to get you your 1 key on the Nightmare Clan boss and allow you to move on to getting potentially a key chest from Brutal every day as well if you can 2-key Ultra Nightmare. So that is how we do it. Now let's go ahead and show it off in the actual game. Alrighty, so here we are on the Nightmare Clan boss, and I went ahead and waited until a day where it was on the Spirit affinity so I can make sure to show you guys that this works against all affinities of Clan boss. So let's go ahead and jump into it here. So first things first, we're going to need to take it off of auto. It is not on auto perfect. So we need a 2-turn delay before we go for the Unkillable on our Warcaster here. So I'll go ahead and start out with his A2. We need a 1-turn delay on Seeker, so I'm going to use his A1 here. Draco, we can go ahead and get that decreased defense and weaken rolling. We can go A2 here on Santa. Remember, we need a 3-turn delay for him. And then our Doom Priest here. We could use her A2 here, but honestly we really don't need it, so we'll go for that because Seeker is about to buff up our attack here. So now it's on to our Warcaster. We need 1 more turn delay, so we'll go A1 here. Now Seeker can go ahead and use his A2 and come in with the A1. Draco can get poisons rolling for us. Sir Nick is still going to need another 2 turns of delay, so that's 1, and we'll need 1 more after that. Now we can go ahead and get another A1 with Doom Priest. Our Warcaster can go ahead and use his Unkillable now. Just A1 with Seeker, A1 with Draco when he comes up here in a second. Now you see we do have the decreased speed on us, but that should be just fine. We'll go A1 here, A1 with Santa, and then that should be good. So we can throw it on auto now. And remember, Santa does need to have the correct level of books for this to work, but this should fall into a proper tune now. So we should see it right after this one. So she is stunned at the moment, but she'll go ahead and clear that off of herself, and that'll be just fine. She'll get off her attack, and now we should be on a proper tune. So we get the block damage here right before the AoE. That's perfect. And as long as we see that happen again on the next one, we will know we are properly in sync and we will be able to just skip ahead towards the end of the fight. So here we go. We should have Draco going. He gets an extra turn. We've got our Unkillable, and boom, we are perfectly in sync here. She's going to keep taking care of that decreased speed for us and the stun on herself. So that is going to be it. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead towards the end of this fight, and we'll just see how we do. Alrighty, so we are coming up on the end of the fight here, and as you can see, it has run perfectly. This has been full auto, 60+ million damage on 1 key. Obviously, Draco is what's making that happen. If you brought in someone like a Roz and Scarhide, although probably not the best on green affinity, but you could use Ina for that, you could definitely still be hitting a 1 key, no problem. So that's the comp, guys. It is the same comp as I'm running for Ultra Nightmare, same gear and everything. It works perfectly fine on both Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare affinities. So if you are lucky enough to be able to build a comp similar to this one, you can definitely go through and use the same team to get your 2 key on Ultra Nightmare, potentially even 1 key if you have good enough gear, as well as a 1 key on Nightmare. And then you can move on to getting a top chest on Brutal as well. So that's going to be it for the video today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.